Misery Loves Clips put out this clip, and he was actually donating to Opie and trying to get Opie to talk about what his take is on Misery Loves Company and stuff like that. And so Opie recognizes that this is going to get clipped, and Opie can't control himself, of course, and goes right along with the program.
I came across a couple videos of Ant and another guy roasting your live streams in front of a live crowd. What's that about? I have no idea. Look, I said it years ago. Anthony is pure garbage. He really is.
All right, let me just address this. So they're talking about DabbleCon 2.
About you, Carl.
Yes, he's talking about me. DabbleCon 2, when we had Anthony on and we were playing some clips of Opie. Now, what Opie should have said when he read that is like, oh, is he goofing on me? Like, whatever, that's fun. Oh, he's roasting me. Whatever. I roast him too. I say shit. He says shit. Whatever. Instead, look at how worked up he gets over this thing. He didn't even know existed and still doesn't know if it exists or not.
Correct.
But is it worked up, or is it the phrase you coined? I think it was performative, John.
Yeah.
Where John just he knows this ahead of time, and I'm just gonna go and pretend to be outraged. But when you watch it, you go, oh, he's acting up. He's not really.
Well, you know him better than I do, obviously. You've had a personal relationship with him for a long time. So you tell me what this is.
Yes, because, and I'll tell you why. Like, yeah, obviously we don't get along, and there's been a lot of attacking back and forth and whatnot. And then he went through a major medical issue, a major one.
Okay, that's performative. Nobody talks like that.
I believe it was quadruple bypass surgery. So I wished him well. I was like, you know what? I don't really get along with the guy or anything, but it's just the right thing to do. It's just the right thing to do. And it was very well received. And there was a little text exchange back and forth. And Anthony even said at the time, I appreciate it. And then he said something like, and it's nice that we're not taking shots at each other anymore. And then I think that lasted a week or two. As soon as he got the stitches out, he went right back to, attacking me and hating me.
It's not attacking and hating. This is the thing that I hope you guys understand. We were laughing and joking. It's very different than attacking and hating.
Yeah, and one, it wasn't right as the stitches came out. No. It was almost a year since the heart attack when that happened. But two, it's like the whole show, that the concept that we had was pulling clips of politicians, rock stars, radio shows, comedians, whatever, and goofing on what they did. It was just a bunch of people sitting around making fun of something.
You guys made fun of Scott Shannon for years. And then he came on the show and had a good sense of humor about it. You're like, all right, this is cool. Like, why can't you just have a good sense of humor about it? It'd be fine. Instead, Opie has to take everything as like hatred, and it's bizarre.
Exaggerate it.
Yeah, it's bizarre that you can't just have fun with it. Why are you just having fun with it?
When I see clips time to time, it always is curious because he acts like he doesn't want to talk about O&A. He acts like this is beneath him or behind him or whatever. But then he's putting clips of it constantly up online on his YouTube stuff. He purposely puts those texts, the chat messages up that aren't paying for it. It's not like the paying ones he's addressing.
Right.
He's scrolling through his chat room and puts them up there and addresses them because he knows it's content. He knows it's what people want to hear. And I think he does this where he's like, oh, that'll get clipped and put out somewhere so people.
Yeah, he's trying to be above it and also in the mud at the same time.
Yeah, using it to promote himself, which you should. We all should when those things come around.
Of course.
But it's how you react to it. You could be upset about it and then talk about how you feel and then handle it in a different way. He always acts like it's somebody standing outside of his property, holding up signs that saying you sucked in front of him.
Right, yeah. I'm not actually fucking with his real life.
It's not that personal level. It's always based on what you're putting out there professionally, be it your stream, the radio show, any of those things. You have to take that because that's what we do. Good or bad, we have to take it.
When he had Carl Ruiz on the show, I'll never forget, like, we were making fun of Opie every episode of one of these podcasts, and Carl Ruiz was his main co-host at the time. And we were making fun of Opie for talking about how great the tater tots were at Jeremiah's. And Carl Ruiz, like, tweeted at me. It was just like, yeah, no, Opie thought they were great. Tater tots are all the same. It's all the same shit wherever you go. And he's just like, he was in on the joke. Like, he wasn't taking it seriously. It's like, why don't we take this so fucking seriously? It's not that big a deal.
Say what you want about his time with Carl or whatever. I got to talk to Carl shortly before he passed and stuff. He invited me down to his restaurant, and I was hanging out with him. We talked for a bit. Carl knew a lot of this stuff. I knew how a lot of this worked from being a fan of Howard, from being a fan of ours for so many years.
Yeah.
He took a different approach when he was starting to do more with Opie. So some of the stuff got a bit more, he was a bit more sensitive to because Ope was sensitive to it. And then when he started to realize,
sticking up for his friend, right?
Right. And when he started to realize where to separate it, it's like, all right, on the air, I'll do this. But in real life, it wasn't that big a deal. Carl wasn't as bad as some of these people think that he was on the air.
I always liked Carl. Yeah. I always thought he was very good on the show.
I particularly liked it when he would push back at Opie.
Yeah. Like, we call him
the Ola gate.
Yeah, right.
On these incredibly low-level shows. All these low-level shows have asked me to come on, and I'm like, no, I'm not.
So that's interesting. So he equates, so they're talking about WATP Live at DabbleCon.
Right.
And then he goes, oh, it's a low-level show. It's like, well, it was a live audience. Like, maybe it's not that low level, whatever. And then all of them have asked me to come on. I've never asked Opie to come on. I do not want him on this show. So if he's referring to me as a low-level show, I am not part of this. I promise you that.
I'm not going to do it. No. So I don't know what that's about because, I thought there was some kind of truce, but he can't help himself. He can't help himself. And
in his defense, I had pulled all the clips. I was just like, look at this, Ant. It wasn't like we conspired ahead of time. Like, what are we going to say about Opie?
Right.
Like, he was just doing the show, doing me a favor, and I was just playing this. So.
But after that rant, he's like, in summation, I don't know.
Right, I know. Like, no, you've already said it all.
And again, it's not a chat that he has to address because they paid money.
Right, yeah.
This is a freebie thing that he could have just saw that and like, I don't want to talk about that and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
But trying to knock me down every chance he gets. So stop wondering why there's no Opie and Anthony reunion, okay? Please.
No one's wondering that.
I don't know what that's about. It's ridiculous. Misery loves clips. I love this guy. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I'm not in the Dabbleverse at all. Is MLC one of the shows you consider low level?
Someone's avoiding the question. Mm-hmm. Someone is avoiding the question.
Misery loves clips. You're trying to get me to clip. Misery Loves Clips is a very good YouTube channel. As much as I think he's trying to get me, here, but I'm not falling for it. Look,
just answer the fucking question. What do you mean? You're not falling for it. You're being ridiculous right now. Of course, this is clippable. Of course, you're falling for it.
Kevin Brennan does a very good job. Misery Loves Clips, but the fact is, like when these shows like Kevin and a lot of the other ones take shots at me, it's like, look. They're obviously doing better than me, obviously, but
yeah, my shirt is doing better than you. Look at his shirt. What is going on with that collar? How does it get like that?
He woke up.
To me.
Yeah. He wakes up, gets a cup of coffee, and turns it on because he's unfiltered. He's not prepared. It's just whatever happens.
Yeah,
and he's
it's working
with that. Look, amazing background that he has. The way he looks, it looks like he's free falling into the ground with the hair and everything, like he's going through a wind tunnel and he's just about to hit the highway that's below him.
Could you imagine there's homeless people watching this out in the street down there going, how did he get up there? It's like when Shaq talks about seeing the gorilla at the zoo, like, whoa, what the fuck? How come you're out there? I was like, what?
When you get even close to the success I had with the Opie and Anthony show, I mean, the fact is I wasn't supposed to be on that level for my entire life. Takes a lot out of you. So when people take shots at me and I see their numbers and their numbers are better than what I'm doing with my live stream. So let's put that on the table. I'll give you all of it, not just the stuff that makes me look good. They're doing better than me. But when they start talking, and for real, Misery Loves Clips, when they start talking to no less than 1 million people a week,
oh boy,
some say that at the height of Opie and Anthony, we were talking to, at least 2 million people a week, at least.
But he also says that Rogan sucks. So that's not the right argument either. because he talks to way more people than Opie and Anthony did. So, but that's Opie's thing. He always goes to if you haven't accomplished as much as I have, then you can't criticize me. It's like, that's not true at all. I'm sure Opie has criticized people's performances in movies. Maybe well-known actors don't always hit it out of the park in every role.
Also, I mean, you see the parallels too. Compare this to when Howard had that argument with Ari Shaffir where he was talking about podcasting, and he's like, you didn't start off in this market and work your way up and do all these things. You can't just go and turn it on and be successful right away. And Ari goes, why can't you?
Yeah, no,
why
you
can't
can. You actually can now.
We can just turn it on and do this. I don't need to go through all the bullshit. It's sort of the same thing now. It's like, well, you didn't do what I do to warrant being better than I am or on my level. It's like, well, no, because nobody can do what we did anymore because it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
There's no way for anyone to go that route and see how they do because you can't. The road is closed. So now this is the new way of doing things. And I mean, look, say what you want about all these shows and everything. They all think they're doing better than the other ones in this show. But when you look at everybody's numbers, it's like we're nowhere near some of that one guy that was eating 2 fucking cheeseburgers and complaining that he had to pay $50 had 215,000 subscribers. He's kind of doing better than all of us.
Well, kind of, I guess. All right, I want to play a little bit more of this. And Opie says some dumb shit.
Yeah.
When they get to some crazy ass level with their numbers, with their live stream, and they're making real crazy ass money, and then they want to call me a loser, then I have to accept that. But they're not even close to anything I ever accomplished in my career, and I wasn't supposed to stay at that level forever. I never gave a shit about fame. If you want to know the truth,
I never gave a shit about fame. If you want to know the truth, if you want to know the truth is a tell in this sentence. He wanted to be Howard Stern so bad to the point where he pretty much lives in the same high rise as Howard in the same neighborhood. Like how it's crazy for him to say he didn't give a shit about the fame. So let me back it up a little bit. Let's see what he did give a shit about. I want to hear Erik's take on this.
Close to anything I ever accomplished in my career, and I wasn't supposed to stay at that level forever. I never gave a shit about fame. If you want to know the truth, I gave a shit about being a content provider. I gave a shit about turning on a mic, spewing stuff that was bothering me. It was very freeing. It was very therapeutic, but I never gave a crap about the fame part of it ever. I mean,
the second thing he said was turning on a mic. I didn't care about being famous. I cared about turning a microphone on. Really? That's what you got out of bed for in the morning? Okay. Weird.
Ever. I think if I gave a crap about the fame part of it, I would have tried to keep a big show going even after Opie and Anthony left. But I'm like,
you did try. You were pissed you got moved to afternoons. And you brought in other buddies of yours to try to keep it going. That is some cope right there. And you know what the proof is? I don't care about fame. I'm not even famous anymore. That's not
I wasn't supposed to be at that level of fame.
Yeah, that's a weird thing too, to say like nobody's career continues to go well. I mean, there's so many countless examples. Rush Limbaugh was on the radio until he died. There's so many examples of guys who can be famous and continue going. I mean, Howard's still doing it somehow. It's a weird one.
Yeah, he did. Everything he's saying. Look, he did like turning on the mic. All three of them loved being able to say what they want. It was very therapeutic. They could get everything out. Some cared about the fame more than others. Some liked having the fame, but it wasn't a big thing. Hope wanted to be. We all know this. This is nothing nobody does know. He wanted to be Howard. He wanted to be this successful. He wanted to be famous. I've seen examples. There's examples that are public. There are examples that aren't. But that he did. He thought he was.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
when you're in
the
entertainment industry, you should want to be famous. That's how you are successful in entertainment. Correct. So the fact that he comes out and he goes, I'll tell you the truth, I didn't care about being famous. Just like, oh, don't say that, because now it's just sounding ridiculous. No one's buying it.
When you got that level of success that they have, yet you want to be that famous so that you can keep that level of success, keep making that money, keep being able to do what you do. You want to be successful. You want to be famous doing what you do because it will ensure some sort of longevity
Right.
for this
Also,
kind of career.
Based on his rules, is he allowed to make fun of Howard Stern? Because I've heard him make fun of Howard many, many times. But based on his rules, it sounds like until he gets as much money as Howard has,
Right.
as many listeners as he's had over his years, he's not allowed to do that. I don't know.
No, not at all.
So, Eric, you brought a couple of clips, and I was watching Blind Mike this morning, and Blind Mike started playing, I think, one of the clips that you brought, because I teased it on the last episode, and I went, okay, I don't want to hear Blind Mike's take on this, so I turned it off, because apparently someone asked him about me directly.
Well, all right. So somebody reached out to me saying, hey, with a different angle, I guess, with these, because you have both clips, right?
Yes.
Part 1 and part 2. Okay.
Yeah.
That he was, I was told, it's like, resented doing the show during the best years of his life.
Yeah.
And I said, what? And I was like, send me the clip. So they sent me these 2 clips, and it turns out it's about you. It started and it was about you and his underlining seething that you exist and talk about him.
Okay.
Then turned into how he resented doing the show during the best years of his life. So yes, start with the first clip.
So I used to do some alternate side of the street parking, not because I was trying to save the money, although, saving over $600 a month wasn't bad, to be honest with you. But I did it more for the show. For the show.
It was one of my favorite things he ever did, by the way. Sitting in the car with the duct tape on his phone. I mean, some great moments. I'll give him that.
Idea. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna park my car. I'll wait. You have to wait for the street sweeper. And I'm like, you know what? I'll live stream. And I enjoyed doing it. It was fun. It was different.
I think he hated doing it. Didn't he get real stressed out about it every time? He was like so concerned about getting a spot back again, and he was worried about getting out of the car at the right time.
I don't know which Opie to believe.
I think we had a clip on Ant's show where he was doing it, and I think one of the attendants was coming around, and he had to sit in the car for like 45 minutes because they were hovering around. He had to wait for them to leave in order for him to go upstairs to his apartment.
Yes.
So he was freezing sitting in his car because he had to sit there because the attendant was around.
It was miserable.
Yeah.
Live streaming from my car. And then you get these dummies that have never done anything in their lives, literally making fun of you. And you sit there like, this guy, he's live streaming from a basement. He's never had.
What is that thing? Like, I'm not on a beach. I'm not on my own private beach. I'll give him that. But what is that live streaming from a basement? Why is a basement something worse than a living room or a spare bedroom? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's a finished basement. It's a nice place to put a studio. I just don't get that.
I think it's more the wood paneling he has a problem with.
A lot of people do.
He's never had any success, and he's making fun of me because I'm live streaming in a car. Oh, well, I enjoyed it. That's all that matters.
Right.
Why are you
if that's
talking
all
about
that
it?
matters, don't address it then.
Right.
Right. But also any kind of success, like Stuttering John does the same thing, and Opie, it's not good if you're saying the same thing as Stuttering John. Just like, so the only way to have success in your eyes is a radio career? This is the same thing when Opie used to talk about, like, why do they teach math in school? I've never used math. Like, yeah, most people don't go on to be radio professionals. People go into engineering and computer science. Like, there's a reason why, like, being a professional marketer doesn't mean you've done nothing with your life or your career.
Literally nothing.
Yeah, like, what do you mean by that? It doesn't make any sense to me, but okay, if you say so. You ready for the next clip?
Yeah.
John T. I don't know who Carl. I like how Carl. I don't know who Carl is. I like how Carl
his
calls
basement.
Yeah, this is so ridiculous. He's addressed me before. We've talked about this. Ruiz has talked to him about me. Like, this is ridiculous. He acts like he doesn't know me, but that's supposed to be like a thing. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Opie doesn't know me? Oh, no.
loser. There's a lot of people calling me a loser, but he's doing his show.
Do I call Opie a loser? Sure. Okay. I'm trying to think. Like, that's not the word that summarizes Opie to me.
Okay.
By any means. It's pathetic what he's doing, but maybe. I don't know. I don't think I'd call him a loser only because he does have very nice homes and a very nice family. Like, he's not loser in the way that we talk about Rob Saul and Stuttering John Melendez and like losers, you know?
It's a different level of losing.
It's very different.
From his basement in Rochester, and you do yours from the beach and on top of Manhattan. Yeah, I don't have time for people. I was a massive success in the radio world. What? I was supposed to do that for the rest of my life?
Oh, no.
No!
Do that again.
You know, the best years of my life I wasted doing the Opie and Anthony show. And you might think to yourself, what are you talking about? Look what you got now. Yeah, that's all well and good, but now I'm an old guy and I can finally enjoy my life. I couldn't enjoy my life when I was doing the Opie and Anthony show. It was incredibly stressful for me. I'll talk about my experience. It was stressful for me.
Pause. You know who couldn't enjoy their life? People that work real jobs, miserable jobs, but did it because they needed a livelihood or they had the family to take care of or something like that. Now that they're retired, they can enjoy their life. They're allowed to say that.
Right.
I'm now allowed to enjoy my life because I couldn't during those years. It was miserable, but he did what he had to do. This drove me fucking nuts because I was like, we had one of the most privileged positions in the world to do this thing. Him more so than me. I was lucky enough to be a part of it.
Yep.
But his name was on the door. We got to do this every day. They made tons of money. I did okay. They did tons of money.
Right.
Just to come in and goof off and be nonsensical.
Well, I'll take it to the next level, Erock. This guy who's talking about how that was wasted years would humiliate you on a regular basis, bring you into the studio, humiliate you, and you're making way less money, and you're coming back and going, oh my gosh, I appreciate all of those years. That was amazing. I have no regrets. And Opie made all that money, was never being humiliated because he shut that shit down.
Because he was deflecting.
Yes.
I've talked about this. A lot of the stuff that was towards me was because he couldn't take it or didn't want to take it. So, we'll just throw it to E-Rock because, I know you can take it. Yeah, I can take it. I like being here. I like this job. I like what we're doing. When we're not doing this little thing, the rest of the show is fucking fantastic. And maybe for doing it too long, you lose track of those things. You start to resent the things that made you who you are, made you successful. I didn't. I look back on it and I go, yeah, it wasn't always 100% great, but it wasn't 90% terrible either. I loved doing what we did. And now he's at a point, or at least, publicly, I haven't talked to the guy in almost 8 years or something, where he's just, now he resents it. This was the worst time of my life. Really? This was the worst time of your life?
That's crazy.
Fuck off. It's like I tried being nice to him and I tried.
Yep.
I rarely ever talk about him, but when you get shit like this and now you're saying you resent it, fuck
he wasted
Fuck
these years. This is a waste of his time. Erock. It's fucking
say
crazy.
what you want about Anthony, but Ant had the right mindset. He's like, sign the 5-year deal.
Yes.
Let's take the millions of dollars and coast for another 5 years. And if we do well, we'll sign another 5 years. And if they fire us, guess what? They got to pay us for 4 more years. That's the mindset. You should have this. Take every dime we can out of this thing. Not let's sign 1 year and see what our options are. We were important to it for a little while, but we weren't that in demand for the entire industry. For television and all these other things. Radio liked us, and that was about it. So let's just take every dime that they're willing to give us, and that was a problem.
That's
all
a
the
good
perks
point.
that we had was a problem. All the celebrities we got a chance to meet and talk to was a problem. Fuck off.
That's a good point. Like Opie's talking about how it was stressful. Opie created the stress by not signing the long-term deals, by constantly having to renegotiate the deals every year and going to management, and he was the busybody in the office, talking about all the, I don't know if this guy's working out, I don't know if that guy's working out, and he's triangulating all over the place. Like, Opie was the cause of stress. And Jimmy and Anthony just wanted to come in and laugh.
All right, look, I'll defend him a tiny bit on this. Look, Jim could be a problem, Ant could be a problem, Opie can be a problem.
Sure.
Sam and I could be a problem, the staff could be a problem, whatever. We all had our things. But to the level of what those problems weren't enough to say, I can't do this job anymore, or I'm walking out of this career, or any of those things. For some reason, to him, this was like, I can't believe my life is so terrible that I'm stuck in this situation. I couldn't wait for Anthony to get fired, and then I could go and do my own thing. If you were so miserable, to the levels that he explains that he was so miserable and tortured, what amount of money keeps you there? It's not like I just got my first big contract. I need to do this for my family. You've had millions of dollars for many years at that point. Walk away. Do your own thing. Do whatever. It really is a fucking slap in the face to us that worked with him, the audience that put up with our shit or loved our stuff and supported us and whatever. That it's like he's pissing on everybody because now it's like, oh, you're making fun of me through a super chat. Fuck off. Stop doing this then. Go away. Live your life on the beach and in Manhattan, whatever. Stop coming back up here and say, hey, guys, remember me? Oh, I'm really in the mix, but I'm not in the mix. Fuck off. Fuck all the way off.
Every waking moment of every single day, I was thinking about that goddamn radio show. I was on a glorious honeymoon in Turks and Caicos thinking about the radio show. It never leaves your goddamn brain.
Pause.
That's retarded too, because
you called me during my fucking honeymoon, right?
Okay, yeah.
Grant's making whale noises, and Jim's talking about some Jamaican immigrant that's cleaning my room, and there's ice cream balls all over. At the time, yeah, it pissed me off, right? And at the time, I could say it's like everywhere I go, everywhere I do, the fucking radio show is following me, right? But I look back at it now, it wasn't a great moment, but I can laugh at it a little bit and go, yeah, all right, yeah, you know, for the show and the context, it is what it is. When the show was off air for Christmas, extended break, vacations, whatever, I had to think about the show because technically if something goes wrong, I had to take care of it. If the programming was wrong, I had to take care of it. We all had to think about the show when we're up because when we'd come back from these breaks, we needed to have content. We needed to have stories. We needed to have things to talk about. That was part of the job. You're on your fucking honeymoon at a resort and you go, I couldn't stop thinking about the show. Yeah, it's your fucking job.
Yeah, every
you don't have
successful
to go that hard
person
to paint with it
thinks
at that
about their
point.
job all the time. That's how you're successful, is because you do think about it. You want to be good and you want to get better. So this is not, Opie thinks that this is just him who's having to deal with this. No, most people do, and they don't get paid millions of dollars to do it.
How many people, like you hear stories about certain celebrities, certain tech billionaires or CEOs of companies where you hear Vince McMahon, I mean, his shit aside, but he's like, he never took a day off. He was always thinking about the company. He was at almost at every live event that he could. He never did any of this stuff unless it involved. That's what you do. You love what you're doing. You make it a success. It becomes part of your life and who you are. If you hated it that much, he did the wrong thing his entire life, and that's his fault.
Yeah, that's only your fault. Right. It's Opie, this is all your fault if this is how you feel about it now.
Trust me, I wasn't going to do it for the rest of my life. Best years of my life I spent doing that when I had youth.
You were 40!
And now I'm a broken mess, older, and I finally get to enjoy my life. So to all these losers in their basements, shut your mouth. You never came close to anything.
Yeah, but I enjoy my life. So I got that going for me. Sounds like I'm more successful than you, Opie, because I'm enjoying all of this. You'll never see me bitter on a show one day going, and then fucking I had to do WATP every Saturday and every Wednesday. It's like, oh, that's great. I love it.
Everybody
Good
that
times.
worked on that show that's still doing something.
Yep.
Jim, Sam, Ant, me, Travis. None of us are resenting our time there. None of us was like, yeah, it was a difficult time, or yeah, it was a fun time. We're not saying like our lives are terrible because we went through that.
Right.
We all knew what it was. We appreciate it when we have it, and it got us to wherever we are now in our lives. We all are pretty good. We're all doing pretty good. We're all happy with our lives.
What does Opie think he was going to do? Like be in the NBA or something? What was he going to do when he was younger?
He was going to be a model, Carl.
You're right. I know. It's like, what is he regretting here? I don't even understand. Like, everyone has to fucking work a job during the prime years of their life. That's when you're most productive. I don't know what you mean. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Anything. As you call me a loser from your basement, I was talking to more people when I was doing college radio. Get to some.
Hold on. No, hold on. That's not true. I'm sorry, Opie.
See, that's the Howard tie-in.
The
where it's
Geneseo does not have more people listening to their radio station at any time in history, but what the fuck? Okay.
When I was working at that broken radio station in upstate New York, you know, I had more people than what podcasting is doing.
Yeah, right.
That's the way you had to do it back then. That's not how you have to do it now. People,
that's retarded.
Impressive level, and then take your dumb shots. Holy crap, enough. I'm not taking any of it. No. Ask me anything. Oh, boy, I'll tell you everything. Oh, I got stories I've never told. They're coming, folks.
He's tilting.
What a bitter douche.
You really got to him.
He's so bitter right there. Wow. Guys,
lonely.
let's start complimenting him in the chats. He needs some love.
Yes, let's go in his chat and put only W's.
Yes, you're killing it, Opie.
And hearts. Heart emojis.
So sorry for what you went through. Signed, a Iraqi veteran. So sorry life was hard for you. Fucking douchebag.
While looking through the David Lee Roth stuff, I'm going through hard drives of things that we had from, at work. And I see these clips and I don't recognize them. I go, what the hell is this? So I'm looking through. And I guess we had audio of this show. There's a trucking channel on Sirius XM. I'm not sure if it's still there, but it was called Road Dog. And it was just programming that was for truckers. It was slower paced talk shows that allowed truckers to call in from the road. So they had somebody to talk to and, that lifestyle and what have you. So there was a show on there and they have a girl that worked on woman that worked on the show. And apparently had walked down the hallway while Ope was filming a video. And Ope turned and kind of like zoomed in on her butt.
Okay.
And then panned back to the comic he was talking to. And the comic was staring at her thinking she looked pretty good. And Ope made some disparaging comments about the lady. And I guess he posted the video and everybody went and found this girl and told her what Ope did.
Okay.
So that's where the audio starts.
All right, cool.
Nation with my butt.
Yeah, what was that Opie and Anthony or Opie video I saw? Should I have not?
Oh
no,
it's fine.
Oh, it's out
totally
there.
fine.
Right? It is out there.
You could talk about it.
He kind of dissed me in a video.
What?
It was basically calling Opie from Opie and Anthony.
That
the
guy?
Virus. Yeah, that redheaded howdy doody looking mofo. That guy. And I didn't know he videotaped me, so a friend here tagged me in it, and I watched it, and I tweeted him. I basically was like, "Go F yourself," and then he apologized to me on the air.
Really?
That's right, because you're my biatch.
That's right. Yeah. Wow. So I didn't even hear what he said. Do you want to repeat it, or is it not worth repeating?
Well, I walked by. He was filming something in the hallway.
He was doing a little interview with some comedian, and then I saw the camera shift. I wasn't listening to the audio.
He turned, because the comedian watched me walk away.
Right.
So Opie turned the camera on me, and he said, "Really? That's what you like?" And then he turned it on a much skinnier woman, and he said, "That's more like it."
Oh, my
but then
God.
He said, "I wasn't making fun of the way you looked," which...
Opie was finally funny, and this is actually backfiring on him. I'm not with this so far.
And he's never funny again.
That's what I learned. Stop being funny.
Looked, which of course he was, but I think he was afraid I was going to go to HR. I'm not going to go to HR. I'm going to walk right in your studio and make you look like a fool in front of your entire lame audience.
There you go.
Don't mess with the pain.
That guy looking like him has nerve saying anything about anyone.
He does.
The nerve.
You know what? He's the least funniest person on that show. If it wasn't for Anthony and Jim
It really
Norton,
is your last
it
week
would
here, isn't
be
it?
a lame show.
Whoa.
Good point.
That's right.
That sound you hear is bridges burning.
Wow, that's so rude.
I don't want to give him the satisfaction, even though I am right now, but he's, whatever. Loser.
All right. Let's get her on the show. Is she going to be on WTP coming up anytime soon?
So I see this clip and it's dated, right? So I go, well, if he apologized, let me go back into the archive, see if I can find him talking about this.
Sure.
So I have the date of when this clip was, and I go back and I search all around, and there's no apology on the air. So maybe he told her he apologized on the air, or somebody told her that he apologized on the air. There's no apology on the air. What there is he posted a tweet. I think you have that there, right?
Here
From
it is.
2011.
Yep.
So he was talking with Joe DeRosa in there, and at the end it's like, note to, and he tags this woman, wasn't making fun of your ass. That's all he did, right? Now, I guess he doesn't understand that tiny URLs, I guess, are forever, because all it is a redirection to wherever this video is. He took the video down.
Oh, but it's still there.
You can't find the video, but if you cut and paste this URL there for this tiny URL, the video exists.
No shit.
So I pulled the video so you can see the actual incident as it was happening.
Okay, so his response is that I didn't make fun of you. I don't even know what you're talking about. He took the video down. Let's see what it is.
We got the very funny Joe DeRosa today.
What's that?
And Joe is at the taping of the Donald Trump roast. That's going to be on Comedy Central very soon.
Yes.
And there's a lot of rumors. It's not even a rumor anymore because it made the paper that. Seriously? What did I do?
Holy shit, man. He's fucking clocking.
Is that the scariest thing you could say right there? What just happened?
I will not get into that type of commentary, my friend.
Okay.
That was the video.
That was the video.
That was the video.
That was it.
Yeah. He looked at this lady's ass and he was like, "Really? That's what you like?"
Yeah.
And then got fake scared that was Stanley T, by the way, from the morning mashup, running down the hallway because I guess he was late. That some black guy was yelling, running at Opie, and Opie got scared.
Yeah.
So that was the whole video there. I forgot all about this. I didn't think it was a thing, but I'm looking through it. I'm guessing it was because I guess he got talked to for something like that. Nothing was on the air on our end. I looked. I went even through the next week to say, I'm like, maybe it was delayed, something. Nothing. So he's had a history of doing these videos and pissing everybody off.
I thought she was going to be fatter. To be honest with you,
I thought so
right.
too.
Yeah, she looked okay. I thought she was going to have
she
a
was
large.
She was
I'm into that too.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's fun. Oh, anything else on Opie before we move on? Opie knows his numbers are bullshit. It's a clip you have on here.
Was another. Yeah, there's people who, and thank you, but there are people that send me stuff still thinking that I'll pass along to Anthony, even though I'm not working there anymore.
Pass along to me.
Yeah, that's what I did.
All right.
They got to go somewhere.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So this was just something that he says he knows his numbers aren't that good.
You are getting close to 150,000 subscribers. Is that good? On what, my YouTube channel? Yeah, I would like to get to 150,000 subscribers. My God, that would mean that I would get more than 200 views per video, right? Believer.
I mean, Opie, here's the good news. You're reaching more people now than you were when you were at Geneseo on your college radio station. I know that you think that was impressive, but
It might be a future for you.
yes, very good.
Yeah, 150,000 subscribers and 200 something
views.
to 400 views, and
It's not a good ratio.
yeah, it's just not things change.
Who are these podcasts?